a strategy that we could adopt to help us converse in a smooth and natural way. So we're all trying to learn to converse in English in as natural a way as we would converse in our mother tongue, right? So that's the whole intention, because communication is not about the language, it's about being able to express our feelings and emotions and thoughts and opinions effectively across to the other person. So today let's discuss about how it's going to be helpful to have certain answers prepared to questions that are often posed to us. So we identify certain questions, a set of questions which we feel that anyway is discussed, whether in a formal situation, informal situation. So we identify those questions and then prepare answers to that, so as to avoid having these automatic standard answers every time the question is posed. Because what happens is, because we don't have enough vocabulary to express, we play safe. We just tell there are a few words that we are comfortable, and so we're going to stick to it. We need to overcome this, right? So that's the whole fun in learning a language. So let's discuss certain questions today. For starters, the most commonly asked question when you meet somebody, when somebody meets you, is how are you? So what are the answers that you can have to this question that is going to make your answer sound genuine? And when it is genuine, you have the right vocabulary to help you express yourself effectively. Okay? So the standard answer that we find is for how are you? I'm fine, thank you. That's all right. But then we can go beyond it and start a genuine conversation. So what are the other ways of answering that? Sometimes just for variety's sake, just to have kind of to have a different mood, or it would be to kind of lead the conversation further so that this doesn't stop. How are you? I'm fine. It stops. So there's nothing more that it leads to. So let's think of I'm good. So how are you? I'm good. So that's a variation. Or another possibility for how are you is pretty good. Think of another answer. How are you? I'm all right. So that's a smarter way of putting it. Or how are you? Yeah, I'm all right. Okay, so you want to express something else. Probably you are talking to your best friend. You meet your best friend and your best friend is asking, how are you? So you don't want to leave it at a formal, I'm fine. So maybe you want to express something more, maybe a slightly neutral answer, maybe you need to show that, okay, there's something troubling you. Probably there's an issue. So how are you? Not too bad. So what happens when you ask, when you say not too bad? So the other person will, or it will immediately trigger a question in the other person's mind. Not too bad. I mean, probably I should be asking more, like everything's all right. So depending on the relationship both of you share. If it's your best friend, is going to ask you more, hey, what happened? Why is your mood like this? Any issue? And then you may choose to discuss anything that is troubling you. So you are eliciting that question. If you're just told, I'm fine, thank you, the friend wouldn't have known that there is an issue you want to share or bring up, right? Or again, in the casual context, hey, how are you? Fit as a fiddle. Or it could be, I feel great, things are going good. So that's it. It's a genuine expression. Or if it's a question somebody asks you, uh, having known that you were not keeping well or you were going through a tough time, and out of concern, the other person asks, "How are you?" So you don't stop with an "I'm fine, thank you," because the person is asking out of out of concern, and obviously he or she would want to know more. So for that, the answer could be, "I'm feeling much better. Thank you for asking." So then the other person will be comfortable probing further and asking further questions. How's your health? Or, "I hope you have been able to overcome the situation. Do you think I can be of any help?" Or anything. So that's how it goes further. Or if you're feeling really bad and you want to convey that, okay, things are not fine. So to the question, "How are you?" "Fine, but I wish things were much better." So if that's the answer you give, "Fine, but I wish things were much better." So that would be a statement that is going to get the other person to ask more questions. So if that's what you want, then you can give them a leading statement like that. Okay, so this is about how to answer the question, "How are you?" So we have a range of answers ranging from something really positive, a neutral answer, an answer that has negative emotions attached to it. So whatever is appropriate, at least you have a range. Now, how about the question itself? Is it necessary to always ask, "How are you?" Are there other ways of framing it? So you could ask, yes, "How's everything?" So instead of "How are you?" "How's everything?" That would be, it includes you and your affairs and things about you. "Hey, how's everything?" could be a question you could ask when you meet somebody instead of the standard "How are you?" Or you could ask, "Hey, how's it going?" Okay, so normally when you meet colleagues and friends, you already have common topics of discussions. You guys know what each one has been up to, how things are, things on the personal front, professional front. So again, instead of a plain bland "How are you?" it could be, "What's up?" Okay. Or if it permits, if the context permits, it could be, "Hi, what's new?" So you could start off the conversation with, "Hey, what's new?" Or another simple and elegant way of putting it is, "How are you doing?" So that's a little more softer. "How are you doing?" So it stresses on how things are with you. How are you doing? Or if you don't want to always have this, questioning mode, how or what, so you can always have a statement like, "Hope you're doing good." Okay, so that's also a good way of asking. Once you ask a question, you should also sense the mood of the person. I look at the body language of the person. So if a person is visibly upset, let's say, and the person still says everything's fine, it is also conveying that things are okay and I don't want to discuss it right now. So you must sense, the feeling behind the statement also, because the body language, the tone of the answer also speaks a lot. So a lot of times we know that there is a problem, but the chosen statement is such where the meaning that is conveyed through that statement is, "Everything's fine, let's not discuss further." So we should be sensitive enough to to catch those nuances when somebody is speaking. It becomes a little difficult when people are transacting in a foreign language. So if it is your own mother tongue, it's all more easily conveyed. But in a second language like English, sometimes people kind of find it difficult to convey their emotions. So this is where we need to train ourselves, especially with common questions. It's always good to have these range of answers first that are listed out. So we need to list out all the answers which we feel would be okay, then get it grammatically checked, see that there are no grammatical errors, and the most important thing is to mouth it, to keep talking, or keep speaking those sentences, so that when you actually get into the context of speaking with people, it comes out in a very natural flow. That's very important. To be able to speak effortlessly is the intention over here, right? Yeah. So I think that's all for today. So there's a lot of practice to be done. And if there are any sentences, commonly asked questions that you come across and you would want to discuss, do let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.